Welcome back to WigginsTV. Boy, that's a good one. Here we go. Way before Lil Wayne and Blueface, Cash Money was a small independent record label in uptown New Orleans, Louisiana, with a few local rappers on their roster. These local rappers helped pave the way for Cash Money to earn their $30 million distribution deal in 1998. But some of the other artists who helped set the foundation never got to enjoy the fruits of their labor. Today we gonna be talking about the forefathers, the people that left Cash Money in the early days and didn't get paid their royalties and tragically lost their life. And I know y'all love the Where Are They Now series, so I'm gonna mix a little bit of that in there, just for y'all enjoyment, for my true Wigsters out there. Enough of this long drawn out intro. Here we go. First up, Kilo G. Kilo G was the first artist signed to Cash Money, and in 1992 he released his debut album, which was the first album on Cash Money Records, called The Sleepwalker. At the time, they was a local record label, so I don't have to tell you that the album didn't really sell that much. But for a 15-year-old, Kilo G was definitely dope and had some incredible rap skills. That's right. In 92, he was only 15 with his first album. His next and final studio album, The Bloody City, which had guest appearances from Bun B, from UGK, and other rappers on Cash Money, was about to be released. Somewhere in the mid-90s, Kilo G had a dispute with Cash Money Records, particularly Birdman, over unpaid royalties, and was looking to leave the label, and he successfully did so. But unfortunately, in 1997, soon after leaving the label, he was killed inside of his home after police say somebody ran up in his house and killed him, just riddling him with bullets in his home in 7th Ward, New Orleans. He was only 20 years old. He was never paid his just due and never got to see Cash Money blow up the way they did. Rest in peace, Kilo G. UNLV and Yellow Boy. As I mentioned before, UNLV was one of the dopest groups to sign to Cash Money, and their contribution musically was one of the key factors in helping Cash Money receive a $30 million distribution deal from Universal Records. But in my eyes, UNLV was nothing without the crazy, wild, badass Yellow Boy. If you look at all the albums that UNLV released when they was on Cash Money, all of the singles and hit singles came from Yellow Boy, mostly. They first album, Six and Barone. True, they had the single with the same name. It made a lot of noise, but the other hit single on that album, Eddie Bow, that was a Yellow Boy solo record, which helped blow up the album and really caused it to sell over 60,000 copies, which, in hustler terms, for y'all who don't know, 600 bands in your pocket, because they was an independent label. Not bad for an album they recorded in Birdman Kitchen, huh? Fast forward to their last album, Uptown for Life, which was their biggest record to this day. Drag 'Em in the River. That blew them up for real, and that album sold over 200,000 copies in 96, 97. And did you know that Birdman was begging Juvenile to sign to Cash Money for years? But it wasn't until he heard, Juvie heard Drag 'Em in the River, that he decided, oh yeah, I gotta come work with Manny Fresh. That was the cause. Facts. Big facts. Now, around 1996, UNLV was looking to leave Cash Money because they wasn't getting paid right. They was looking to start their own label. And Yellow Boy stepped to Birdman like always, because if you didn't know, they used to always fight. But one day, Yellow Boy upped the bet. He knocked out Birdman and allegedly shot up his house and his car because he wanted his money. Unfortunately and allegedly, after meeting with Birdman, for which he got paid, He went to the hood and bought some heroin and was sitting in his car on 4th and Dryades. Forgive me if I ain't pronouncing it right. On 4th and Dryades, when police say somebody walked up and shot him to death. He was only 22 years old. It remains a cold case to this day. Rest in peace, Yella. Next, Pimp Daddy. Pimp Daddy was another important rapper on Cash Money Records who helped build their persona as a label. From my understanding, you know, he the one who started that singing gangsta bounce style that a lot of New Orleans rappers copied for years to come. Pimp Daddy released his album Still Pimpin' in 1994 on Cash Money. At the time, his girlfriend was Miss T, who was Birdman's niece, who was also signed to Cash Money as an R&B singer and sometimes rapper. They say he was messing with another girl from across the tracks on the side, and she set him up, and they robbed him and killed him, all in 1994 when the album came out. Now remember, in 1994, New Orleans was the murder capital, not of America, not of the South, the world. In 1995, Cash Money released a tribute album after Pimp Daddy's death and called it Pimpin' Ain't Easy. They kept the money and never even gave any of the proceeds to Pimp Daddy's family. Rest in peace, Pimp Daddy. He was 18 years old. Wow. Next, his girlfriend, Miss T. Being Birdman's niece didn't mean that Miss T had it easy. She in fact had to work harder to prove herself, especially after her boyfriend Pimp Daddy just died. Miss T had released several albums on the Cash Money, such as Chillin' on the Corner, Having Things, Female Baller, and to be honest, she was pretty dope. Now I see what Baby and Slim tried to do with her, because you gotta remember, around that time, Death Row Records was cracking, man, and they had Jewel and Lady of Rage, who was, you know, Jewel was the background vocalist and sung on a lot of records, and, you know, Lady of Rage used to also rap too. So they had, you know, different, you know, female talents, and also Bad Boy Records was cracking at the time. They also had a female artist by the name of Lil' Kim, and they had Total, and who else? What was her name? Charlie Baltimore? I don't know if she was signing Bad Boy, but you get the point. But all in all, unfortunately, things didn't really work out for Miss T. She never hit that next level, and she soon left Cash Money and went to Untouchable Records. After that time, she even went to Master P and tried to sign a no-limit deal with him. But Master P allegedly said she was too dark-skinned and was not marketable. Man, Pete tripping. I love me some dark-skinned women. Matter of fact, if you's a dark-skinned bitch and you listening to this right now, you like my podcast and my videos, and you like my voice, man, hit me up, 213-436-1296. But fast forward years later, right now, Miss T is the owner of a clothing store, and she's doing pretty well for herself right now. So shouts out to Miss T. She bounced back. Next, Magnolia Shorty. Magnolia Shorty was a young legend, simply put. But I mean, at such a young age, she was rapping about the most dirtiest sexual things that one could imagine at that time. In 1997, she released her first album under Cash Money Records, and the hit single, Monkey on the D. And by D, you know what I mean. And she was born in 1982, which means she was only 15 years old. Talk about rodding D and getting hit from the back. Wow. This release not only did numbers and made her popular, but it helped her gain notoriety throughout the South as the queen of bounce music. Magnolia Shorty left Cash Money also due to not being paid very well, but continued having a successful career, doing lots of shows and block parties, and even being featured on huge singles like My Boy. Unfortunately, in 2010, Renetta Lowe, aka Magnolia Shorty, was killed in a hail of gunfire when two gunmen blocked her and her boyfriend in while sitting in their car at an apartment complex gate and let off close to 50 bullets. She was shot 26 times and was pronounced dead on the scene. She was only 28 years old. Wow. Rest in peace, Magnolia Shorty. Next, Mr. Ivan. In 1994, while New Orleans was the murder capital of the world, gangster rap and rapping about killing, it was the trend, you know. It was more popular then than it even is today, you know. A rapper named Mr. Ivan signed to Cash Money Records and released his album 187 in a hockey mask. If you listen to the way he rap and the things he's saying, his style, that whole album is super crazy. And G-Funk was in style, so Manny Fresh put a lot of West Coast synthesizers, you know, them synths, making it sound very Cali-ish. Mr. Ivan did a lot of features with PMW, UNLV, and other rappers on the roster. But Mr. Ivan left Cash Money soon in the mid-90s due to unpaid royalties. But he continued rapping on the underground scene, but to no avail. Unfortunately, Mr. Ivan died of AIDS in 2007. Rest in peace, Mr. Ivan. Lastly, BG Derek. BG Derek, aka Bulletproof, who was also related to Birdman, being his nephew, was signed to Cash Money Records. He can first be heard on BG's album Chopper City on the last song on the album called Represent. He was also heard on BG album It's All On You Volume 1 called Cash Money Ninjas. Now during that time, he had a bright future ahead of him. It was said that Birdman and Slim planned to add him as a member of the rap group The Hot Boys, and things was looking pretty promising for the young man. But a lot of stuff was going on behind the scenes that we did not know about. Allegedly, BG Derek used to bully 2 of the Hot Boys. I'm not going to say which ones, but he was a bully. And, you know, BG Derek was really in the streets and not a studio gangster. So he kind of had the upper hand. But Birdman wasn't having it, you know. He wasn't about to let that ruin his money. But he got into a disagreement with Birdman and Slim and stole some money from them. You know, they had planned to put it to good use or whatever. But when Birdman found out that BG Derek took the money, he kicked him out. You know, he kicked him out of Cash Money Records. And he was replaced by Turk from Hot Boys. Now, BG Derek continued rapping and released a collaborative album with another up-and-coming New Orleans rapper named Chaotic. The album was called Undisputed and was released around 2002 and featured artists such as Uncle Laurel, Soulja Slim, and Turk from Hot Boys, just to name a few. But like I said, BG Derek was still in the streets. And when you got one foot in the streets, one foot in the rap game, you tend to learn, you know, you tend to lean more towards the realistic moneymaker. In his last years, Derek's projects where he used to live, where he stayed at in the 10th ward called St. Thomas, got torn down. And he had to move to another project called St. Bernard in a hood where they wasn't cool. But BG Derek had some homies with a record label, and he ended up leaving them. And allegedly, they set him up and killed him. That's alleged. I don't know nothing, you know. Come on, man. But rest in peace to BG Derek, man. Wow. It seemed like a lot of rappers, you know, from that label just passed away. Is it a curse? Is it one of the spiritual curses? You know? What y'all think, man? Let me know. Drop a comment, you know? And I could have did this with my, you know, I could do this documentary with my eyes closed with a blindfold, man. I'm a true Cash Money fan, you know? Yeah, man. Even though I was a kid when all this was going on, man, or probably wasn't even born for some of it. Yeah, for sure. I'm a huge Cash Money fan, bro. Let me know what y'all think, man. You know, if I got something wrong, let me know, man. But make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe, man. Donate if you can, man. I'm out of here. Wiggins!